105.
God's blessings. You're tuned in to Throwback Talk with V Fox. I am V Fox, your School of the Legends team correspondent for the Washington Redskins. I'm just here browsing through schoolofthelegends.com, and it was awesome to see that the Redskins team page and my fellow team correspondent Rocky McIntosh's show 52 Seconds is highlighted and featured on the homepage of schoolofthelegends.com. But let's get right to it. So it's week 7 of the NFL season, and now the Redskins are facing off versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, an executive decision has been made. There's been a change at quarterback. Mike Shanahan has chosen and selected to go with John Beck over Rex Grossman. So we'll see what Mr. Beck can do. As I stated in Monday Wrap-Up, we're going to go with whatever decision that the team decides to go, and we're just going to support it as fans. So let's do that. Let's support. Let's get behind John Beck, and let's see what he can do with this. He's waited a long time for a starting job, and now he has his opportunity. And call me crazy, but I just think that he's going to perform well. I think he's really going to step up to the plate. He's going to get this offense headed in the right direction. Now, as far as our offense, we still have a lot of things that we need to work on, things that I mentioned in Monday Wrap-Up. As far as our offensive line situation, sure enough, Lichtensteiger has been placed on IR. He's out for the season. We still are shuffling some people around at some different positions, and so that offensive line will be a focal point this week, and you can best bet that the Carolina Panthers will attack us because they know that we are still putting that line together and trying to figure out and put the pieces in place and get a solid foundation there. As far as our running game, we got to get that going. I believe Ryan Terrain still will be in the starting position this week, and we got to get our run game established. The Carolina Panthers have been horrible versus the run. I think they're ranked like 31st in the league versus the run, so we have to get the run established. This will be a great week for Ryan Terrain to get revved up and to get this run game going and actually to open up some things. Anthony Armstrong has been suffering with an injury, but we're hoping that he'll be back this week. Cooley had the finger injury, had a surgery, so he will more than likely be out this week, and we got to get Fred Davis going on the offensive side of the ball. Now, as far as defense, this defense is killing this year. Our defense is doing a phenomenal job. Now, we have a challenge this week. Don't let the Carolina Panthers record fool you. Although they have not won very many games, they have a high-powered offense, and they've been averaging well around 400 yards a game in total offense. This offense has a three-headed monster running the ball, and that's with Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams, and yeah, their quarterback, rookie phenom Cam Newton. This guy has went above and beyond what the expectations were on his abilities to play as a rookie, and he's done a great job this year. He's made a lot of mistakes here and there. He's thrown some picks, and so I think that we can get him rattled, but we gotta defend and we gotta stop this run game. We have to make them one-dimensional. You already know who, when you think of the Carolina Panthers, you think of who? Steve Smith. Steve Smith has jumped back on the scene with a vengeance this year. Now that he has Cam Newton as his quarterback, this guy has been putting up big numbers. So it goes without saying, we have to stop Steve Smith. That's always the case when you play against the Carolina Panthers. Steve Smith, not a big man, but plays very big. And so I believe that our DBs on the back end really can handle this situation, but we really have to focus in on it. We can't allow Steve Smith to get behind us and to beat us in the pass game. Now let's talk about our fantasy pick of the week. I'm sorry, I know I led you astray last week, but if you really would just ride with me again, I really believe this week that Ryan Terrain is going to step up. Now, if he indeed does start, I believe that he will have a big game. As I stated, the Carolina Panthers have been horrid against the run, and I believe that we can really get some things established, and Ryan can have a big game. So, Ryan, you are our fantasy pick of the week. Don't let us down, please. Now, I wanted to touch on something because I've had a lot of people ask me about this. Indeed, those are my children in the opening. When you hear their voices on Throwback Talk, you hear my son say my name, Vernon Fox, and then you also hear my daughter on the Monday wrap-up. So yes, that is my kids. I had a couple of people comment and write me and ask me about that, so I just wanted to put that out there. Those are my babies. Now, for Throwback Item of the Week, I want to do something a little different this week. I just want to touch you this week. I want to give you a special place in my heart and share a special story with you. So it starts with this. When you enter into the Fox Den, real quick shout out, Fresno State Bulldog, root root. Something that you'll find is a picture, a very special picture. It captures a moment. Interception versus the Carolina Panthers. I'll tell you more. And here's the ball. This is the ball. This is the interception ball that you see in that picture during that game. It's a special ball to me. Obviously, it holds a special place in my heart. That's why you see it inside of the case. But I want to tell you something. I really want to share it with you. When I left the team that I was with prior to coming to the Washington Redskins, I was really at a down point in my mind and in my career. I had considered not even playing football anymore. I really hadn't touched the field from a defensive standpoint in 2 years. In 2 years, I had one defensive snap. And so I was really discouraged. I excelled at special teams, and when you thought of Vernon Fox and when people heard my name, they associated that with being a pretty good special teams player. And there's nothing wrong with that. I gave my all, but I just believe that no one actually competes to be the starting L2 or to be the right wing on a punt team. You know, it's just not what you compete for. You really want to compete to show your best talents at your primary position. And so I really had struggled. I hadn't played defense in a very long time. And so when I came to the Washington Redskins, partway through the season, I got an opportunity to start at safety alongside Sean Taylor, which was a very special moment for me. Meant a lot to me because no one had really shown belief in me and given me an opportunity to play. And so that's why that picture was so special. That picture encapsulated a moment in that game during the first offensive series we were playing against the Carolina Panthers, and during their first offensive series I was able to come down with that interception. And so that moment is very special for me. I went on to start the rest of the season with the Redskins at safety, the last 6 games of the season, and that's just a moment that I'll never forget. And so that's why that's so special to me, and that was your Throwback Item of the Week. Well, items of the week. But come on, let's get behind this team. We're coming off of a loss last week, so we got to get things going, and what better team to do it versus the Carolina Panthers. Come on, let's do it. Hail to the Skins. Catch me every week for pregame and postgame analysis and everything in between. God bless.